1969 was the year of the bed. I was the first to do a bed, and that's this one here, a photograph of my bed, which is photographed outside the Slade. And then John Lennon and Yoko Ono did their Bed In for Peace. And then there was a third bed, which is probably more long-lasting than the other two, certainly than mine, and we'll come to that in a minute. But this bed is my only piece of misogyny sculpture that I've made, and it's called A Woman's Eye View of the World. And it's made from a 8x4 board, an 8x4 board that way and a 4x4 board that way. And this one is a blow-up from a magazine called Woman's Own, which was a cheesy magazine of the time that women read. And the board itself, the bed piece, is just plastic, white plastic, which you can write on, which is a surface deliberately to write on. And one end of the bed I've written across it myself a woman's own eye view of the world, pointing at that, at the Woman's Own magazine, and the other end I've put a woman's eye level view of the world, pointing at the bed level itself. So it wasn't very nice for me to make this sort of thing. So why did I make something as misogynistic as that? Well, yeah, you may well ask. Well, the reason was my girlfriend at the time had left me for somebody else. I've never been left by a woman for somebody else before, but that was it did happen this time. I'm absolutely shocked. And the girl who left me was called Angela. She called herself Angel, and she dressed like something out of the Avengers, or maybe a Bond girl with a short skirt and boots and a cape even, and long blonde hair, very beautiful, very intelligent, very interesting person. And I loved it, bringing her into the Slade. When she came into the Slade to see me, and all the sculpture student boys looked at her enviously. She's completely different to the other end of the spectrum, where girls dressed as hippies looked as though they're going on a Kathmandu excursion or a march or something like that. And but anyway, she left me, and that was it. Which brings me to the third bed, which is probably the most famous of them, and it's this one. Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big brass bed. Stay, lady, stay, stay while the night is still ahead. I long to see you in the morning light. I long to reach for you in the night. Stay, lady, stay, stay while the night is still ahead. Well, she didn't stay, she cleared off. And as for the piece of work, well, I was so embarrassed about it, I stuck it away. But for some reason, about a year later, I brought it out, and I put it in my final postgraduate degree show, and it was chosen there by an art critic called Peter Fuller, who chose it for the City of London Festival, and off it went there. But about 2 weeks later, the Slade rang me up and said they'd had a complaint about my woman's eye view of the world, and could I go and see the City Corporation? So I went in, I saw some jobs with who said, I want to come over to Mr. Grills to see your piece of work. So we went over there, and he said, look at this, look at this. And on the bed itself, written in lipstick, was all sorts of stuff. And he said, look, this one says, some women do think of other things as well, you know, and this one here says, you sexist bastard. And as for this one, I'm not reading that one out. So I said, well, that one says, I'll cut your penis off. He said, yes, well, you know, and there's some girls there have written their telephone numbers on it. It's not good enough. And these office girls, as he called them, come out at lunchtime and they write all this stuff on it. It's not good. I'm afraid, you know, it'll have to go back to the Slade where it came from. I said, well, I'll take it back, but you don't understand. What they've done here, it's a provocative piece. It's designed to extend the work. He said, well, you can extend it at the Slade, Mr. Grills, but not in the City Corporation area, and I'm afraid you'll have to arrange for it to be collected as soon as possible. So I said, yes. So off it went. So not only had I lost Angel, I'd also lost my exhibition. and get one of them back. So I went to see Angela. I hadn't seen her for a long time, up at her flat, and somebody opened the door, and it took me some time to realise it was her, because, you know, she'd turned into a hippie. It was unbelievable. She looked as though she was coming back from a march to Kathmandu, and she says, "Come in." We went in. She said, "I'll introduce you to my boyfriend." And well, he didn't introduce because he was lying spread-eagled on the floor, absolutely stoned out of his mind, and the smell of pot and everything. I thought, bloody hell, how could something change like that? But it taught me one thing, and that was, you know, you can't go on stereotypes, and it's the inner person, and I really didn't know the inner person, and the outside is often just a dressing up box.